This message is brought to you by Venmo. Being a football fan isn't always easy, especially during the postseason. The stakes are high, the pressures are through the roof, and your team is out there struggling against impossible odds while all you can do is just watch? That's hard. But paying with Venmo all playoff long? That's easy. Whether you're catching a ride to the stadium, ordering food to the watch party, or hooking yourself up with some vintage swag, just pay with Venmo for great deals on your favorite brands. Terms and exclusions apply.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Folks, listen up. You think you've got the boldest take of the week? Or would you like love advice from Greg Cote? We want to do something fun for Valentine's Day with Greg Cote. If you have the boldest take of the week or you want love advice, send in those hot takes or send in those questions. Call 305-486-GOTS.
We're going to get to some Roger Goodell sound here in a second, but I did find, I don't know that I'm going to say funny, but when I saw the ESPN headlines on ESPN.com, and they put them in the order of interest and importance, Goodell, Belichick will eventually be a Hall of Famer, is, and I understand how and why this happens, but think about how silly it is that this happens. It is above NFL to look into Tish's Epstein files connections. So you have an NFL owner who's in the Epstein files all over the place. Like he made, I think, what were the movies he made? He made, he made the Tom Cruise movie Risky Business, for example. It was one of the movies.
Really?
That Tish helped produce. He didn't direct it, but
great movie.
He's made. I think did he make Forrest Gump? I think.
Really?
I think he made Forrest Gump. Maybe you guys can check that for me to make sure. But it's because of the difficulty of talking in sports about anything Epstein related.
Also, Soul Man. You remember that flick?
Yeah.
You know what that one was about?
Would never get made today.
Ooh, Equalizer 2 and 3.
Oh, Equalizer 2 is great. Equalizer 3 was fun, too, based in Italy.
The larger point I'm making, that Goodell saying that Belichick will eventually get into the Hall of Fame in no world should be higher in terms of news value than the other story. But good luck finding people able to talk in the media about the idea that the New York Giants, in the sports media, that the owner of the New York Giants needs to be run out as soon as there's a factor. Like, you got to ask Goodell about that. He was asked about it, among other things. And if any of this is even any semblance of true, this has to be a scandal that engulfs the owner of the New York Giants.
Well, I think so far his explanation, and I'm boiling it down, don't take this as a direct quote, but that legal adult went off me, coach, was basically his excuse. That grown woman was at play there. It wasn't some of the other stuff, which is a real Frank Reynolds, It's Always Sunny excuse.
The Goodell sound from yesterday that a lot of people are noticing. See if you notice here what happens when Roger Goodell is talking about Bad Bunny's speech at the Grammys. Did you watch the Grammys, Greg?
I did.
What did you like about the Grammys? Was there anything in there that you liked?
I liked most of it. There was some weird stuff. I mean, when I saw Justin Bieber's performance, I didn't even hear the song because I'm just mesmerized by what this guy is or isn't wearing and why he's doing it. It was just bizarre. And then Lady Gaga's in a wicker basket helmet. I mean, they were just...
Those were two great performances, I thought.
They were great.
Bieber and Gaga.
They were memorable.
Why was Bieber in his underwear?
That's laying it all bare.
Worked. Yeah, it worked. And the shots to his wife.
That's what he wore?
Yes.
Yeah, it was literally a stripped down performance.
It's called art.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Zaz, you should recreate that.
Cold in there.
I think that was honestly like Bieber's best moment in a really long time.
Couldn't agree more. One of the coolest performances he's had on an award show.
Yeah, that album
sure.
was a bit of a comeback for him, and that was, a really cool moment for a dude that's kind of needed some like positive stuff out there.
Right. What do you think of Bruno Mars? He's also making a comeback.
Yeah, it's more the same. I like Bruno. Bruno's fun, always. I like the Grammys. I think the Grammys are always like
thought it was
pop
great.
culture encapsulations. I like being confused. Who's this person? I like discovering new ones.
Yeah.
I kind of embrace sometimes that I feel a little bit old watching it. It forces me to set my game up. And I got other acts that aren't on the televised portion of the broadcast that I'm super into. I'm a big Turnstile guy. Saw that they won awards. I like the clips. I like that they had, talk about the Epstein files, although he kind of knew that he was on a plane with Elon.
I am not the person to talk, given that I just made a reference that was more than 200 years old. But old guy watching the Grammys and saying, as an observation, what are they wearing? Is just perfect. Like, what? Bieber, the artist. Yeah, the music. Yeah, that one. Why is he in his underwears?
Okay, I thought about that the same way I think watching the Met Gala. Okay, I get that it's performance art. I get all that. It doesn't mean that I can't make fun of a woman wearing a wicker
But you didn't make
basket.
fun of it. It was your only observation when I asked you what you think of the Grammys. Those two people were wearing those things.
Right, that's what stands out to me. When I think of the Grammys, I think of what visually stands out. One was Justin Bieber, what he wasn't wearing, and the other was Gaga's hat. That's
Really?
just me.
I thought
Yeah.
Bad Bunny winning Album of the Year at the first ever Spanish language Album of the Year and having those moments. I also saw an IG reel that has me convinced he does indeed wear a bulletproof vest because of all the threats that he's been receiving, because he was kind of moving strangely at that. Like the way that it was tailored, it was kind of weird. And there's this whole IG reel that he's like wearing bulletproof vests now because of all the threats that he's receiving.
I thought it was interesting watching Trevor Noah try to get
Trevor?
Trevor, isn't that his name?
Yes.
What's up, Trevor?
But he's from South Africa, so I think
No, he was
they
trying.
pronounce it Trevor.
He was trying to get Bad Bunny to perform even a snippet, which would have been against his NFL contract with the Super Bowl. And he
Is that
finally-
right?
Yeah, and he finally did. He
It was a bit. It was a whole bit he did where he's like, "Hey, can you perform?" He's like, "I can't." And he's like, and then Trevor.
like he really can't?
Trevor started singing his songs, trying to get him to sing.
And he sang like 2 or 3 words of his song. So I hope that doesn't.
Put it on the poll, please,
Get him in
at
trouble.
Batard Show. Do you think Bad Bunny will wear a bulletproof vest during his Super Bowl performance? Because you would assume not.
Wow, that's dark.
Too much gyrating happening. You can't wear a bulletproof vest while
well,
gyrating.
but I'm surprised by what Mike's saying there, and unsurprised.
Again, alleged. That's not confirmed.
Yeah, it was a highly convincing IG reel. And that's where 90% of Americans get their news these days.
Yeah, that's correct. And in these troubled times, when Roger Goodell is being asked if there will be ICE operations around the Super Bowl this week, you can believe just about anything when it comes to safety and people being afraid for their lives. But let's get Roger Goodell's thoughts specifically on Bad Bunny having politics in his speech about ICE at the Grammys.
Listen, Bad Bunny is, and I think that was demonstrated last night, one of the great artists in the world. And that's one of the reasons we chose him. But the other reason is he understood the platform he was on, and that this platform is used to unite people and to be able to bring people together with their creativity, with their talents, and to be able to use this moment to do that. And I think artists in the past have done that. I think Bad Bunny understands that, and I think he'll have a great performance.
At the end, he cleaned it up. But how did he pronounce his name at the beginning?
Bad Bunny.
To be fair to Raj, by the way, Benito's his name,
Bad
so maybe
Benny.
he's introduced him as Benito, right? They're not gonna introduce you as your stage name. It's embarrassing. Come
For
on.
sure, a mistake he made that can be cleaned up that way.
Bad Bunny.
His real name's not Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
He did get it right at the end. And again, I'm in no position to make fun of anybody getting names wrong.
Bad Bunny.
I can't believe I made an Ichabod Crane reference. I'm still reeling from that.
It's the best part of the show, Dan. Don't be upset.
I have in front of me Sam Amick. Okay, he's an excellent reporter as well. He says, as of Monday evening, the offers coming the Bucks' way for the Greek Freak were still believed to be so underwhelming in the eyes of rival executives and agents that this saga looked likely to extend into the summer. That reporting comes off of the heels of what it is that Zachlowe said.
Jonathan Zachlowe.
He's cooking.
I have no opinion on it.
You get it?
I'm warming up to it, though.
Thank you. It grows on you.
Yeah, no, it was funny.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Jonathan Zachlowe.
Yeah.
Have you checked out since you're back in my day? Because you really hit you hit it out of the park with your back in my day, and reputationally over the years, generally once you what Tony just did. Now that was the hand coming down as a plane crashing. What generally happens if I go to back in my day too early in the show, what I get the rest of the show is something in the form of Jonathan Zachlowe, and then you're amused with yourself.
Satisfied.
Then 30 minutes pass, he hasn't said anything.
It's just like bonus show for him is what it is.
I got A material left. I mean, I could tell you all about Dick Hammer.
Go on.
Let's follow this thread.
Dick Hammer was an actor in the late 50s to 60s who portrayed the Marlboro Man on TV cigarette ads. Ironically, not really, Dick Hammer died of lung cancer. Not linking that to cigarettes, just sort of presuming. Dick Hammer is the late great-grandfather of Super Bowl quarterback Sam Darnold. How about that? I ain't making it up. You could look it up.
No, I know. We've talked about it before. You just wanted to say Dick Hammer.
I love that name.
We have talked. I mean,
what is a ghost?
What is that sound? Is that the ghost of
I'm not
Dick
hitting
Hammer?
anything.
Is
That's
that
creepy.
Is that the ghost of Dick Hammer?
Might be haunting us.
You've got to admit that you just wanted to say Dick Hammer.
Right.
If his father or his grandfather had merely been the former Marlboro Man, that too would have been interesting. But you just wanted to say Dick Hammer.
Right. Hammer time.
There's a couple interesting things about Sam Darnold. Just none of them are Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Well, Mike McDonald is the world's least interesting person.
He might be the most boring. We've done it. Ladies and gentlemen, we found the most boring dude.
It's a boring off. Who's more boring? We got to be able to find somebody more boring.
Vrabel's got some juice to him. Yeah. I like that. But Drake May, pretty boring.
Sam Darnold, Mike McDonald combo, quarterback coach. Wow.
I mean, Belichick Brady was pretty bad. As
at least
just
Brady,
in terms
like,
of
had his
talkers.
face.
Movie star, good looks.
No, but talkers, as talkers. As
not this bad, though. At least Belichick would we're on to Cincinnati. Like, he'd at least, give us something that we would replay.
You think Mike McDonald is appreciably more boring as a talker than Bill Belichick?
I think the defense that Bill Belichick would play against press conferences was interesting. Whereas Mike
after
McDonald,
20 years, because you got so bored with everything he was doing, that after 20 years, you can't say
Mike McDonald is, actually answering questions, but it's just, nothing I want to listen to. Yeah. There were some clips of Mike McDonald from, Radio Row, their media day last night. There's nothing.
I can't believe
even remotely interesting.
It's staggering. It's staggering that he doesn't say interesting things outside of the fact that he doesn't see his son outside of 30 minutes a week.
Oh, wait. Damn, that one.
That one was interesting, but the way that he delivered it wasn't
was on
exactly.
Accident.
Yeah, it was a mistake. And he's learned from it already.
Folks, listen up. Quick break in the action. Are you counting down the days until payday? Instacash from Moneyline can help you access up to $500 of your hard-earned pay early. There's no interest, no credit check, and no monthly fees. So you can manage those in-between expenses with less stress. Download the Moneyline app and link your qualifying bank account to see what you qualify for. Moneyline. Make money easy. Instacash is subject to terms and eligibility requirements. Expedited delivery requires a turbo fee. See Moneyline.com.
People keep asking me about my 2026 resolutions, and I got the usual stuff. Watch more games, complain about the power play, and pretend like my team's actually going to stay healthy. But this year, the one at the top of my list is simple. Get comfy. That's where Bombas comes in. They bring serious comfort to my everyday essentials. Bombas just dropped their all-new sports socks, engineered for running, golf, hiking, skiing, snowboarding, basically whatever you're pretending you're about to be really into. And I'm trying to stay active this year by playing hockey. I need these socks. It has cushioning where you need it, it's sweat wicking, solid support, no distractions, just comfort. And for the everyday stuff, Bombas footwear has you covered. Sunday slippers for staying in, Friday sandals for quick errands, and the new Saturday suede slip-ons when you want comfort but still need to leave the house. Premium everyday go-tos I don't really think about, which is kind of the point. And for every item you buy, Bombas donates one to someone facing housing insecurity. One bought, one donated. Over 150 million items so far. Head over to bombas.com/DKN and use code DKN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/DKN, code DKN at checkout.
Listen up, folks. It's game day, and you already know what that means. The noise, the jerseys, the group chats going crazy. I'm telling you, no game day is complete without the world's #1 vodka. You know that is Smirnoff. We're talking easy cocktails, tons of flavors, perfect for every kind of fan over 21. Whether you're riding with your squad, watching from home, or celebrating like your team already won the first quarter, Smirnoff is the official vodka partner of the NFL. It's award-winning, and it's been bringing people together since 1864. Which is basically forever. Smirnoff does game days. Big energy, big moments, big wins. Hopefully. Grab a bottle of Smirnoff at your local retailer and head to Smirnoff.com to find a cocktail recipe perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff #21 vodka, distilled from grain. 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please don't share with anyone under legal drinking age. Now let's get back to arguing about refs.
Dan Le Batard.
Quiet man.
Yes.
You know, I'm a married man. I don't cheat on my wife, despite that gratuitous line back in my day.
Stugotz.
I wish you were here, my wife. I really miss her. No, I don't. That's the thing about being married. You know, you're not allowed to say, I don't miss my wife. I've been gone 2 days. I haven't been gone long enough to miss my wife. I'm sorry. I call her. I'm on the phone with her for 30 seconds. You know, what am I? Hello. All right. We'll see ya. All right. And then, I'm going to see her in 2 days. How's Jumpin' Charlie? Good.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
The most interesting thing about Mike McDonald to me is that the Scottish surname McDonald, he doesn't capitalize the D in Donald, not unlike the great late comic actor Norm MacDonald. He didn't capitalize the D in Donald either. Very unusual, but here you have two guys choosing not to do that, It interests me.
See, even the stories about him are boring.
The etymology of not capitalizing the D in McDonald interests me, and to my knowledge, the Seahawks coach has never been asked that in a press conference.
Well, Zachlowe, I see you smiling, and I think I know why you're smiling. Can you tell the audience? I want to write it down. I'm going to write down why I think you're smiling. And we'll see if Greg Cote is in any way embarrassed by this. Go ahead.
I just find it interesting that, Greg, you don't even pretend to listen to this show when you're not here.
I said that last week is what I wrote down on the piece of paper because Zachlowe was smiling. So he's come with Dick Hammer, and McDonald spells it with a small D.
A little D, yeah.
And so it's recycled stuff that we've said a week ago.
I missed that show. I apologize. Normally, I listen to every minute of the 6-7 hours of show you do every day.
We were really interested in it when Zaz said it for the first time, and we all learned it together a week ago.
He gave us the Norm MacDonald comp, though. That was more than what Zaz did.
Just like Zaz
did. Mike.
Zaz said, "Isn't this peculiar?" and didn't add anything to the conversation. You leveled up, my friend.
I think I did the Dick Hammer thing a few weeks ago, too.
What are you doing there? Because if we're doing ghost stuff, I think we should go.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay, well.
Look at that.
Look at that.
No, he's right. Look at that. No, he's right. He's right.
Preview monitor.
Look, you don't need to listen to the show when you're not here, Greg, but you need to listen to it while we're doing it. You pointing at a monitor that is a screen that hasn't been put on our televisions yet because it's a lion, a seal, and terrible artificial intelligence because Lewis has a toy is not the way to do the show here.
Hold on. Greg, you've been here a lot longer than I have. Do you know what each monitor here means?
No.
No chance. No shot.
Should
what are you kidding? No, don't learn anything.
I'm not a technician.
No, don't learn anything. What I was beginning to say
is a little tough. Gotta be honest.
Go to the sound, please, because when I think of ghostly stuff, I want you guys did hear, right, that the NFL is now signing up Madrid long term. The Dolphins went to Madrid. The Dolphins had a ghostly sound emerge.
I don't have a ghost sound here.
Let's go, Dolphins!
Yeah, Chris, it's a different ghost, not the one you're pretending that you're not
right,
playing.
I mean,
He's not playing. I don't know what you're talking about. There's a ghost haunting the show.
They're playing. Which is more ghostly?
The Spanish galleon, Dan Marino, for sure.
Are you sure? I think both of these things are pretty ghostly. You think that Dan Marino as a peg leg coming through fog?
We talked about these.
Coming through the fog in a haunted 1820s where Ichabod Crane
He's reading Ichabod Crane. It just came out.
There's a bestseller. There's a fog there, and I feel like on that physically. Who do you imagine being on that pirate boat filled with haunting ghosts? Because I think Jaime Jaquez has to be on it as a conquistador, right? Just physically, the way that his face looks like he's got to be on that boat that's making its way through the haunt. Why are you smiling, Zachlowe? What's so funny?
I mean, he played in front of crowds for 20 years. He doesn't understand. Like, he's never heard the chant, "Let's go Dolphins"?
It is really easy, right? It is an easy chant to do. What do you make of the fact?
Probably the easiest.
Do you think he regrets it at all? Do you think it stays with him in any way that he went out there and no, you guys are just shaking?
He doesn't even know he did it. Let's be honest.
Wait a minute. He's 60. He's not 160.
It's not about that.
I think he thinks he nailed it, doesn't know we ever mocked it. Like, he thinks just perfect.
No, come on. You think these guys are surrounded by so many yes people at all times?
Good job, Dano.
Good job, boss.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to catch on, Dan.
Dan the man.
Really? That's what you guys think?
You're so right, Dan.
So you're not doing that, Chris? You're not
Big
doing
pat on
that?
the back from Kangemi.
Greg, what the hell are we going to do with the Rooney Rule? How do you fix something that doesn't appear like it can be fixed? When Roger Goodell is being asked, he's saying we've got a lot of work to do. It's been 20 years.
Right.
That they've had this rule, this cycle. Now, I would understand how anybody listening to this, right, would say to themselves some form of, what, every cycle I have to hire a minority, I'm obligated, or this is going to come up. But the commissioner is putting his voice on, yeah, I know this is a problem. I know we have a lot of work to do. I know that the thing that, and I don't think he's doing it just because of optics. I think he is trying to figure out how to fix this. And what just ends up happening every single time is a white owner ends up getting into interviews with people he either knows or commonalities, or most of his circle is also other white people. And so what ends up happening is the recommendations that come from people who just have commonalities. It doesn't have to be an outright racism as much as it is just a problem that keeps a race from getting into a position of power more often, because so many of the interviews are clearly bogus. Like, it's just bullshit interviews that honestly are insulting 20 years in to people who are going in when they know they don't have a chance whatsoever to get the interview. So the only reason they take the interview is so they can practice interviewing.
Right, which in and of itself is not a terrible thing. And another advantage of it is if you're a minority candidate for head coach, for example, and you interview in this cycle with two different teams, let's say, a year from now, you have that on your resume, like you have been interviewed for the head coaching position, which increases the likelihood that you'll continue to be interviewed because you've had that experience before. So in the long term, I think it does help, even when you're 0 for 10 hiring a minority head coach in this particular cycle. You've given the opportunity to be interviewed to so many minority coaches that in the long term, that doesn't hurt. That helps.
Okay, but it's not good enough, right?
It's not good enough.
And if Goodell knows it, do you think he's just saying, you don't think, I believe him. I actually, I am in a position where I tend to be just generally skeptical of all power, period. But I do believe that he's looking at this and he's like, yeah, I've got a problem. I don't know how to fix this. I can't fix it. How do I fix this? It's obviously a problem, and 20 years in, it shouldn't be this kind of problem where last week you're on with us and you're telling us ridiculously that Mike McDaniel ends up satisfying the Rooney Rule quota because one of his parents was black.
Really, I mean, I think the only way that it gets fixed, and it's not really a fix, it's just reality, is the owners like this. Like these owners, it's all older gentlemen, you know? These owners have to essentially go away and give way to a younger generation of owners who have had more interactions with minorities. And until that happens, I don't know how it gets fixed.
But there's progress.
Yeah, of course.
It doesn't feel like it. I'm sure everybody imagined with the introduction of the Rooney Rule, some more minority hires would have happened. But some of the incentives that they put in place for these teams, those are really working.
They're draft picks, right?
Yeah, look at what the Niners and Rams keep doing. Now, they're blessed to have the guy at head coach that crowns the next guy, right? King-making head coaches. They are making some of the most progressive hires because when Rob Saleh gets hired, I get a third-round pick. I'll replace him with Raheem Morris because people want the dude that stands next to the dude. Sean McVay, the very same way.
I think, and I don't know the answer to this, but what also hurts black candidates from getting these head coaching jobs is it's like they're always defensive coaches, right? Like there's never the black offensive coordinator. Are there any black offensive coordinators? I mean, I saw Eric Bieniemy.
Byron Leftwich was.
Right. I saw Eric Bieniemy just got a job, but he's never called the plays for Kansas City. He's always been Andy Reid. Like, are there ever? So essentially what I'm saying is it's really only 50%. Like you're cutting it in half. You know, it's not, there aren't black candidates on the offensive and defense side. It's really only the defensive side. Well, and that's weird,
but
right?
I'm not sure how weird it is given that the offensive masterminds, whoever you associate with that, Andy Reid or Shanahan, or I'm talking about Mike Shanahan, not Kyle Shanahan, whoever you associate with the people who teach offense, none of them are black. The people who have had that power have been white. But the point Mike's making is a super interesting one, because do you realize how bad a problem has to be in that sport when you're salary capped, all right? And everyone is looking for any advantage they can get anywhere because everyone is equal under how much money you can pay. They're incentivizing. We'll give you draft picks. It's like the most valuable thing. We'll give you draft picks. Just do this. Please help us here. And they still can't fix it. Like, you still got the commissioner of the league. Like, it's a fairly extraordinary gesture for a commissioner of a league to say, I'll give you draft picks if you just hire some minorities. And yet still, first day of the Super Bowl week, he's giving a press conference where he's like, I can't get this fixed. What do I have to do to get this fixed? What more can I do? Like, these people are looking for advantages everywhere. If these people will cheat to get a draft pick if they know they will not get caught. All of them will cheat if I give them a valuable draft pick for free. And it's incentivized, and it's still a problem. That is a bit crazy, isn't it, given how competitive these people are? Mm-hmm. Like, and that McVay is known as sort of gaming the system because he's like, sure. Sure. I'm
look at their staffs, their position coaches. Like they kind of built this into their talent acquisition. They have less respect for the cap because they know that every once in a while we can count on one of those third-round draft picks. They're doing it right. Now, you need to have prolonged success. You need to have a head coach that has that reputation. But I do think there are some really good examples of it working.
Love the night? Reach for Zyn After Dark, a limited cocktail-inspired series for those who get up when the sun goes down. Try Zyn's Mojito, spiced cider, and espresso martini nicotine pouches. Find them at select retailers. Available while supplies last. Zyn After Dark. Bring on the night. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Dan Batard.
Surely every time you're watching this, you recognize that your wife is laughing that she married yes. Larry David.
Yeah, I do, yeah. One of the great characters in the history of television, in my humble opinion. And to my credit, My personality.
In my humble opinion, followed by to my credit.
To my credit.
It's amazing.
My personality
it's just amazing.
does predate Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Stugotz.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to
Okay.
say Larry David patterned himself after
you copy.
me.
All right, put it on the poll, please, Juju. Did Greg Cote copyright being an asshole long before Larry David?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
When you say that, though, Mike, I don't think people totally understand how rare it is for someone McVay's age to have the stability of confidence of, yeah, I got this job for as long as I want it. I know I got this job. I know I'm good at this. I'm not on a hot seat. I'm never going to be on a hot seat. Like, everyone knows I'm good at this. I can hire whoever I want because I know I'm good at this. So I've had no shackles on me whatsoever because I'm not, oh shit, I'm going to lose my job in 2 years. Oh, they just blew out my GM. I don't have any support. Like, there are so few guys in that sport. Like, it's what you need leadership to have in order for this to be possible. So you have the combination of incentivizing with draft picks, but you also need to have the young leader, because older guys are going to be influenced by they came up through the system and they do it the way that everyone else has done it. So the institutional stuff is going to be embedded in how it is they do it because it's how they learn to do it, and all their white coaches from beforehand are always the guys who they're learning offense from because the black guys aren't the offensive coordinators very often. The idea of that is crazy to me. But getting back to what it is that Mike Ryan was saying before about Mike McDonald, in a Super Bowl where we love the sport by itself, but you need storylines in order to make the week interesting. You need personalities you care about. You need Sam Darnold's got an interesting story. I don't know that as a quarterback, he's someone necessarily that you're super interested in hearing talk or perform. The centerpieces of this Super Bowl in terms of stardom, given that, you know, the Patriots skill position guys we learned about this year. Smith and Jigba, we learned this year is the best receiver in football, but we don't know much about him as a personality. When you look at these teams, interesting stars are not something that you see a lot of. I'm not saying there aren't good players, and I'm not saying there aren't good stories, but just somebody is a personality that you got to check out at Media Day.
Yeah,
like there's
Mac Hollins.
Right.
Diggs has some interesting stuff around him, certainly some controversial stuff around him too. Has Cardi B as a partner. He's had an illustrious career, but no, usually the Super Bowls have a little bit more juice, more star power.
I think that's part of the issue that you have of people being slightly less interested in the results of this Super Bowl. I think it's at least in part because it doesn't make sense to me at all that you would have two teams with longer odds than any that you have ever seen in a Super Bowl, 60-1 and 80-1 before the season started, and that people would be less interested in that. Like, I thought the underdog and the surprise was one of the best things about sports, both of those things. Sam Darnold is an underdog. The Patriots obviously aren't as an organization, but this team is.
Usually is, and that's always like what they sell you before every season. Like, your team has a chance. We have parity, but this is a league that has been highly dependent on like four faces for the last 30 years. Like Manning, Brady, Belichick, Rodgers occasionally gets in there. Mahomes was able to get it handed down from Brady, matched up in an AFC championship game, matched up in a Super Bowl with him. And this is a league that is in transition right now, trying to find the next faces that are going to run the place.
Well, are they actually the underdogs? It's the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed.
Oh, but I'm just saying 60-1 odds, 81 odds before the season. They're two teams we didn't expect to get there. And so you could do 1 seed and 2 seed, and you'd be right. But in having no stars, in having, I guess, not enough storylines, the football has to carry you. But when I think of the best things in sports, the top of the list to me on that is patriotism. Like, not regional identity, but national identity. It's why the World Cup is such a giant. Like, patriotism to me around your sports makes it the best. It's why the greatest upset in the history of United States sports is the 1980 Olympic hockey team, because it had both things. It had patriotism and the second thing, I thought underdog or surprise was like the second best thing of what do people want with their sports. You guys can nominate something else if you've got something else to nominate, if you think that there's something else that you put second, but I thought that was the order. If you want me to get swept up in something where I'm emotional, where I am doing something, okay, in front of my television that I don't do in normal life, I'm jumping up and down, I'm crying, I'm excited. I think patriotism first, and I think give me an underdog story that totally knocks me off my feet. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting that. I'm putting these together on the second place line. I'm putting underdog / surprise. I'm making them the same, equal or synonyms, but what else would you put up there?
Well, in this case, I don't think New England is a classic underdog, even though they went 4-13 the past 2 seasons. But that's a blip.
Aren't they the 80-1 though? Aren't they the biggest underdog in the history of the Super Bowl by preseason odds?
Yes, because they were coming off a 4-13 season. But they just got done with a dynasty. They just got done with Belichick, Brady. When we talk about the Patriots of all teams being on the cusp of perhaps another dynasty, everybody outside of Boston is going, oh, God, not this again. But if they pull this upset and Drake May leads it, coming out of this Super Bowl, Drake May at age 23 is going to be seen as an elite quarterback, coupled with Mike Vrabel leading a new dynasty 2.0 in New England.
This Super Bowl has to drive like passionate fans of certain teams insane. Yeah. Insane to see both these franchises up there. You know, the Seahawks, in terms of the NFC and playoff and Super Bowl appearances, they've made it the most. They're tied for the most out of any franchise in the last 25 years. They went there with Hasselbeck.
4, right?
They went to 2 with Russell Wilson, and here they are with like a whole new core, yet again, 4th Super Bowl in the last 25 years. That's really impressive and hard to do. Patriots just tore down the greatest pro football dynasty of our lives and are back a couple of years later.
And was this like 11 for this century for them?
It's Chris Collinsworth, I think, is called 6 Super Bowls. 5 of them are Patriots Super Bowls. It's nuts. I'd be like, if I'm a Dolphin fan, if I'm a Jet fan, I'm pulling my hair out.
It's not good.
I think another thing, too, that people will tune in to chase is chase for perfection. Right? Like, that's another thing that's a bit of a novelty where it's like, all right, you're not the underdog, but you're the 2007 Patriots. And people are going to watch just to see if something that they've never seen before happened. UCLA from the early 70s that went undefeated. Like, all these teams have this lore behind them. And you're like, all right, if they can do that, obviously we don't have that in the Super Bowl. But that, to me, is another thing that I'll go watch.
Well, that's also part of this, right? Is so not only are you used to seeing these uniforms there, but you have 2 preseason underdogs, not a preseason underdog against a juggernaut. If the Seahawks or the Patriots, obviously same conference as the Chiefs, but if you had the Chiefs there yet again, the great dynasty, and then one of these teams that wasn't supposed to be there, you could create that drama. But you have 2 teams that nobody considers. So no matter what, it's, oh, cool story. One of the teams won that wasn't supposed to win, and yet you're also so used to seeing these uniforms in the Super Bowl that you don't even feel like they're underdogs.
Both, Seahawks. You can't be underdogs and you're there every other year.
Well, despite the preseason odds, I don't think you should consider Seattle or New England a classic underdog. Now, if it's Jacksonville, if they had made the Super Bowl, if Houston had made the Super Bowl.
What you guys are doing, like, I get what you're doing organizationally, but, okay, also in this conversation, I'd put it right up there with history if I'm saying top 5 things that people loved about sports or love consistently about sports that'll make them get attached to something. Because Stars is not in my top 5, although I think Stars helps a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl because people like stars.
Gambling.
Well, yes, of course.
Taylor Swift.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Fame and gambling. Yes. But I'm just doing generic things that would apply to everybody in the history of sports. And up in my top 5 would be nobody believed in us. If I've got a regional identity that I've tied up in my team, Patriot fans, for all you think of, man, they've been hogging the championships. They're going to be able to yell this year, nobody believed in us, the way they haven't since they played the greatest show on turf with Tom Brady in his first year. And Sam Darnold, nobody believes in us? Nobody believes in me? Like, usually these are the ingredients you need, is what I'm telling you. And I feel like people are saying, nah, Stars. Give me Stars. Like, it's got all the other ingredients, and they're like, Nah, and Smith and Jigba is better than everybody at what he does,
Right.
but not a star. He's great at football, but if he do you think people would recognize him in a grocery store outside of Seattle?
Jackson SN.
Which is why you need the biggest star on the planet to bring the eyes. Bad Benny.
I thought Chris was going to play that for you there. I was going to say Bad Benny in front of you instead, and you guys are just using gratuitous shots of Bad Benny, putting him up on the screen because you just want to game the algorithm to try and get anything going around the fame of Bad Benny, who is the biggest star at the Super Bowl.
Bad Benny.
He'd also be the biggest star if anybody in sports other than LeBron James was playing in this Super Bowl.
Bad Benny
Might still be bigger.
Put it on a poll.
Messi.
Put it on the poll
Messi,
at
yeah,
Batard
Messi.
Show. Who's a bigger star, Bad Benny or LeBron? Put it on the poll as well. Who's a bigger star, Bad Benny or Lionel Messi?
If you had to bet, where does this rating peak? I'm in on halftime.
Bad Benny.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
if the game is close,
that's
late.
quite the qualifier, though. If we have a one-score game with 3 minutes left, that always reflects in the ratings, always. But if we're anticipating, a home game, this number peaks.
I was saying, right? There are a couple of things that have been really interesting to me about the evolution of football. I was telling you about the Woolen call in the Seattle game that the referee made, how stunned I was that everyone yelled at Woolen and no one yelled at the referee, that we've changed and whitewashed the entirety of what it used to be. Guys woof, guys trash talk. It's a normal thing. You don't penalize somebody in that situation for that call. It seems like a million years ago that Super Bowls were just always terrible. I expect this game to be close late. Why? Because football. Because football lately, everyone's close late. I don't even know how it's going to happen because I think Seattle's better. But something's going to happen with Sam Darnold, and something's going to make that game close. And I just used to always think, as recently as, I don't know, fewer than 10 years ago, the Super Bowl's going to be bad. The game's not going to be close.
Right. I covered about 15 or 20 Super Bowls in a row. It seems like I covered a lot of 38-10s, when Buffalo was losing big.
Denver was always getting blown out.
Yeah, I mean, there were some really lopsided Super Bowls. But you're right, the league itself is now so parity-soaked that every game's close in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we had a pretty good 3-year run. When you look back on it, might be the best run with the 2 Chiefs Eagles, a Chiefs Niners, Rams Bengals. That's a pretty solid run.